Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. I want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. LSU took the field on Saturday night with one goal, and that was to amass statistics for Jaden Daniels. And that's what they did. When the dust had settled, Jaden Daniels, in a game that he probably could have left at halftime, ended up going 25 out of 30 for 413 yards and 6 touchdowns, and he ran it 10 times for 96 yards and 2 more scores. It was so evident in the play calling. I mean, you'll recall this, but at the end of the third quarter, LSU's got 2nd and goal from the 8, and Jaden Daniels runs. And then they've got 3rd and goal from inside the 5, and Jaden Daniels runs. And then they've got 4th and goal from the 1 in the first play of the fourth quarter. And they don't hand the ball off to a veteran tailback or no, they run a bootleg with Jaden Daniels, who gets horse-collared short of the goal line and dragged to the ground. 15-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal assessed inside the 1, and then Jaden Daniels runs it again. They ran 4 straight quarterback runs, up 42-10 on Georgia State. The most important player to his team in the entire country. You can argue best, you can argue Heisman Trophy. What you cannot argue is that Jaden Daniels is the most important player to his team because the defense doesn't stop anybody and he handles the entire offense. So he's the most important player in the country. It's 42-10 in the fourth quarter against Georgia State, and they're running him all over the place. And I loved it. I loved it. Really, the only discussion point we had the entirety of last week was, can Jaden Daniels win the Heisman Trophy, and what does he need to do to get it done? We've dropped, will the defense get better? Where are the young players? Who's doing this? We don't really care about seeing the backup quarterback anymore. Nussmeier's played a bunch. It's not about, is Lance Hurt going to play right tackle? Or what? It's Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy. That's the discussion, Georgia State week. And they played like that. And I thought it was awesome. And in the end, the dust settles, and Jaden Daniels has a monstrous game. And I didn't hear any national talking heads suggesting that LSU was trying to run up statistics on Georgia State because nobody's watching the game. They just pick up the box score at the end and see the highlights on SDC Final or on YouTube or whatever they're looking at. And they go, wow, that was pretty impressive. And because of that, the odds makers shifted things. And Jaden Daniels, as of Sunday, was the Heisman Trophy favorite. And Brian Kelly was asked after the game in his post-game press conference, like, did y'all leave Jaden Daniels in longer to try to roll up stats to win the Heisman Trophy?
We feel like we need to continue, as an offense, to give him an opportunity to show his skills. I mean, we're down to one more game left in the season. And so I think it's our job to continue to put a young man in a positive situation to show himself to everybody. And look, I mean, there is an entertainment part to this as well, and he is entertaining. And I think that's a good part of this, where he's so entertaining, people want to come see him play.
That's well answered by Brian Kelly. That is well answered. So in that answer, he did say, yeah, we're trying to roll up stats so he can win the Heisman Trophy. But he just said it far more tactfully and said, we wanted to put him in a good position. And I think it's completely and totally fair to do that. You just don't come across this opportunity very often. We're spoiled now because we've been in this position 2 times in 5 years, but before Joe Burrow, LSU hadn't won a Heisman Trophy since the late 50s with Billy Cannon. So it just doesn't happen very often. And I think you're almost obligated to the player to give him every opportunity. You don't have to cross the line. You didn't need to call timeouts late and let him finish the game and throw 60-yard bombs with 2 minutes to go in the game. The last touchdown, the game was decided, but LSU took a shot and made a big play. But there was a lot of time left in the game. I don't think they artificially manufactured statistics, but they went all the way up to the line. I don't think if Jaden Daniels had no chance to win the Heisman Trophy that he would have run the ball 4 straight times from inside the 10-yard line up 32 points. I think that's a couple of Noah Cain gives, plow in for a touchdown, get the backups in the game. But that's not the situation LSU's in. And I thought on Saturday it was important that they did that, and they did. And then Brian Kelly was asked, is Jaden Daniels the best player you've ever coached?
I think right now, the way he's playing and the decisiveness and the way he's taking over games, he's the best player. And I would say that because the numbers are reaching, levels that are, for example, he tied Joe Burrow's record. I don't know, many people were kind of saying would 8 touchdowns ever be, touched. I mean, he tied that, and I think that's the level of play. So, yeah, I would say he's the best.
And I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree more with Brian Kelly. I haven't seen all the players he's coached, but I didn't see anybody at Notre Dame look like this, and I didn't see anybody at Cincinnati look like this, and I can't claim to have watched many Grand Valley State or Central Michigan games, but this pretty good. He's just been sensational to watch all year long. Sometimes I'm curious how my tone, tenor, and thought process changes at 1 o'clock on Monday as opposed to 11 o'clock at night on Saturday when you've just come out of an energy-fueled stadium where there's emotions tied to it and there's passion, and sometimes the post-game show feels a little different than the Monday afternoon radio show. It doesn't this time for me. I said on the post-game show on the network, if you were listening, which it was midnight and game had been decided for a very long time, so I'm assuming a lot of you may not have been, I contended then that Jaden Daniels had put himself in a great position, but that Bo Nix would probably have to stub his toe over the last 2 weeks. And by that, I mean either have kind of a downish game, a big turnover, or Oregon loses. If either one of those two things happens, I think Jaden Daniels is in awesome shape, assuming he goes out against Texas A&M and does what he's done every week. But I do think if Jaden Daniels goes out against Texas A&M and amasses 475 yards of offense and scores 4 touchdowns and LSU wins, and that's basically holding serve. He had a good game, a solid result, statistically was very good, but Bo Nix beats, I guess, Oregon State this week, who's a good defense, and then outduels Michael Penix to win the Pac-12. I think Bo Nix will win the award. That's what I think. I don't have any statistics to back that up. I don't have any inside sources or understanding who's voting for what. I just feel like because of that stage and that moment and the way people usually think about this award, and we've already pointed out the situations where teams lost a bunch of games and won the Heisman. We know Caleb Williams and Tebow and Lamar Jackson, and we know Johnny Manziel and Robert Griffin. Like we've done all that, but that's the way it feels like this will go over the last 2 weeks. If Jaden Daniels is out of sight, out of mind, and Bo Nix is lighting it up like he did on Saturday, I think that would be enough to get the award to Eugene. I think that there's a real chance, though, that Jaden Daniels does go out there and cook against a bad A&M secondary, and Bo Nix has something adverse go on the last 2 weeks. I think there's a real possibility of that happening. So I don't think that Jaden controls his own destiny here. Obviously, the votes do that, and I think that Bo Nix's performance has a real chance to sway those. So it's been a treat to sit here and watch this guy. It was exactly right, in my opinion, the way LSU handled the football game as far as Jaden's concerned on Saturday. And he's got one more opportunity to go out there and play, and then you just got to kind of hope for some good fortune on the other side of things. The odds makers say Jaden Daniels is the favorite right now. I just think that the stage that Bo Nix will have may trump that over the next 2 weeks. Hope not, because Jaden deserves that award. I think Bo Nix has had an awesome year too, and I wouldn't absolutely scoff if he won it. But Jaden does deserve the award based on his consistency and his level of performance, which has just been out of this world from start to finish. There are like 3 bad drives. I mean, it's unbelievable. LSU has scored a freaking touchdown on 13 consecutive drives. Florida and Georgia State, I don't care who you're playing. 13 touchdowns in a row is no joke. Fantastic stuff from Jaden Daniels. Fantastic stuff from LSU's coaching staff. Got accomplished what you needed to. Now you go into the holiday week and you try to take care of Texas A&M and win that 9th game of the season. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.